Hey friends, happy Wednesday. Let's just go live here on Instagram. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day so far. I actually had my, here we go. All right, beautiful. So happy Wednesday, friends. Thanks for being here as usual every Wednesday. My name is Dr. Simran. For those of you guys that know me, I appreciate you being here. And if you're new here, I'm Dr. Simran. I'm a physician. I am a BRCA1 previver. And one of the greatest things on my journey has really been finding the power of food as medicine and plant-based nutrition. And so I come here every Wednesday. It's been several months now where I share easy plant-based recipes and we talk all about lifestyle and just life lessons in general. I actually practiced palliative care for about 10 years. So I worked with the sickest of the sick patients. So I bring my insights and share them with you. And I love coming here on Wednesdays and chatting with you guys. So feel free to introduce yourself, tell me where you're tuning in from. And as we're talking, if you have any questions, please share them. It's always easier to have a conversation with you rather than just talk to myself. My mom usually joins me, but she actually, hi Prince, nice to see you here. Good evening. I guess, yeah, I'm in the US on the East Coast, so it's afternoon for me, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I appreciate you. So my mom usually joins, but she actually just went with her friends on a beautiful spiritual retreat. So they we're driving around the East Coast of the US, visiting different temples. So she's not joining today. She just got home late last night. So today, instead of cooking, because there's only 1 week left of school, so if you're in the same boat as me and you have kids, summer is fast approaching, and this is the season of being on the go and keeping the kids busy and adventures and travel and all the fun things. And so I thought I would show you guys a container that has honestly changed our life. It has been in our life since my kids were 18 months old, and it's called the Snack Spinner, the Gobi Snack Spinner. And I'm going to show you how cool it is, especially if you have kids, because it makes getting them to eat healthy food more fun. It fosters more independence and it fosters just excitement around healthy food. And why is this important, right? Why is this important? This is important for many reasons, because our modern food environment today, I was just talking to someone yesterday and she was just saying, like, I don't understand why we are as sick as we are. And while there are many reasons, right? There are many reasons, and we won't get into all of them, but one of the big things that I like to talk about is our modern food environment, right? So more than half the calories for the average American in a day come from processed or ultra processed foods. Now, that's not to say that all processed foods are bad, right? Like, there are some processed foods that will be good. So for example, when you're talking about whole soy food, right? Tofu is technically a processed food. Soy milk is technically a processed food. However, those are minimally processed foods, right? So when I'm talking about processed and ultra processed foods in the modern food environment, I'm talking about foods that don't really come from nature. Okay, so I'm talking about cookies and cakes and cupcakes and fast foods and foods that have been stripped of a lot of their nutritional value, right? So think about foods that like cookies and cakes and things like that, right? That you will find. They don't have any of their nutritional value. They don't have fiber. They don't have vitamins, minerals. They don't have protein. And a lot of times there's a lot of added junk that we want to try to keep away. Now, this is especially important for kids because when our kids are growing, it is more important than ever for them to get these nutrients, right? Protein and fiber and the vitamins so that they can grow well, they can grow healthy, they can do well in school. And what's happening with our modern food environment is a lot of these foods for kids. So for the average American, it's over 60 to 65% of their daily calories come from these foods. For kids, it's closer to 70%. And I get it. Like I worked at the hospital for 10 years, and I was a full-time working mom, and my husband's a full-time working dad. And I get it. It's for convenience. It's easier to just go grab whatever is at the store, and feed our kids on the way to soccer practice, or wherever. It's easy to do convenience eating. However, one, it creates bad relationships with food for the children, because they're never really sitting down and having a meal where they're actually listening to their body cues, right? So when you're eating on the go or you're eating in the car, you're just eating. You're not really mindful about the whole experience, right? So you might overeat in that situation. And processed and ultra processed foods, right, make it really easy to overeat, because these foods are hyper palatable. What that means is they were literally chemically designed to make us want to eat more and more and more and more, right? Which is why, if you think about it, you eat a whole packet of Oreos, or you eat something, a bag of chips, after a little while, you're hungry again, because these foods are not designed to keep us full. They're designed to make us want to eat more and more and more. And now the problem is these foods are being shown in research to be linked to inflammation and, appetite dysregulation and metabolic syndrome. So things like insulin resistance, prediabetes, diabetes, obesity, cancer. And then down the road, right, we talked about this last week, diabetes, heart disease, the stroke, it doesn't happen overnight, right? So things over many years, you have these silent killers: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, excess weight around the belly, right? Insulin resistance, prediabetes, which is basically, irregular blood sugars, right? And over many, many years, you have these silent killers, and things slowly start to fall apart with your body, and then they suddenly fall apart. That's when you have the massive heart attack. That's when you have the stroke. That's when you have, some big event happen, right? So this is really important, because what we're eating makes probably the biggest impact, because eating is something we do multiple times a day. And yes, our genetics are important, and our environment is important, and sleep is important, and movement is important. All of those things are important, but eating is probably one of the most important, especially because it's so much easier to be an unhealthy eater in today's environment than it is to be a healthy eater. In fact, sometimes when you're a healthy eater, you're looked at like, what's wrong with you, right? Like, I experienced that a lot. So know that, like, standing up for yourself and for your kids is so important when it comes to the food choices that we're making. And you can't control what's going on out there always, right? Especially with kids. Like, if they're at a party and they see something, they want to eat it, you can't really, it's hard to constantly say no all the time as well. So you don't want to create a restriction around food. You want to create an abundance mindset. And that's why tools like this and what you do in your home matter so much, right? So let me know if this is resonating, or, what challenges have you had if you have children. Prince, you said food name, please. I'm not sure what you're talking about. If you're talking about this is called the Gobi Snack Spinner. So anyways, tools like these make it easier to cultivate healthy eating habits and make eating fun for kids. Okay. And so my kids are now 18. My kids are now 6.5 and 8. And we got this when my daughter was 18 months old. That's the crazy thing. Like, we have had, so the quality of this container is amazing. We have had it forever. So I have a lot of them, but Gobi actually just sent me some more. So thank you for this beautiful gift. So let me show you what it looks like when you just open it. If you want one, I do have a discount code, which gets you 15% off, which once I post this live afterwards, if you comment Gobi, I will send you the discount code. But this is what it looks like when it comes in, right? So you can put 4 snacks in at a time, right? So it's made from BPA free plastic, which I really value. And you can put it in the dishwasher, which I don't put it in the dishwasher just because I don't like to put plastic in the dishwasher because I'm not a big, you don't like, it can leach plastic from the heat. So I don't like to do that, but it is dishwasher safe. So let me see if I can open this. And then the other thing is my kids have dropped this so many times and it's just really rugged. Like the quality is really, really good. And it's got this really nice kind of rubber on the side. So that helps. But it's really easy. So you literally just pop it open like this, and then you fill it up. So here in this example, they have strawberries, grapes, blueberries, and some granola. It's really easy to wash, right? Here we go. And it comes in many different colors, and my kids absolutely love it. So now at almost 7 and 8 years old, they actually prepare their own. When they were little, obviously I would prepare it. As they got a little older, I would ask them what they want in it, and now they prepare it themselves. So you're not just cultivating habits of healthy eating, but you're also cultivating independence and now bringing them into the kitchen, learning how to prepare their own snack. Like this is so great. So speaking of summer, right? Pool days, travel, these are perfect. You don't have to bring multiple snack containers. You can put many different things in one. And now the new generation actually has like a sliding door, which I love. So it's really cool. And then you literally just spin and you get to whatever you want. So it's super fun. It's kind of like a fidget toy, but for snacks. And then what they did is they came out with the large snack spinner. So if you moms or dads are like, I want one too, that's how I felt. And then when this large one came out, I was so happy because now I can also bring my snacks along and I don't feel left out. So they just came out with this beautiful color. Oh, I love this color. So this is the large snack spinner, and I'm not gonna lie, like I think my kids now could actually use the large one. But it's just so awesome. So remember when we talked, I've done plenty of lives about snacks. Hopefully my Instagram is not frozen. Can you guys tell me if you're listening? Are you, am I frozen on Instagram, or is it okay? Tell me in the comments if you're there. So, we've talked about how to create a healthy snack, right? And it's really about making sure that you have fiber and protein, right? So when you think about fiber, you want to think about any sort of whole foods. Okay, thanks, Viva. I appreciate it, Nancy. Because on my side, I'm just like, I'm frozen like this. So I'm like, okay, is this working? So anyways, so when we're thinking about putting together a good snack, right? So we want fiber, we want protein, and the same principles apply to when you're putting together a meal, right? Because it's the fiber and the protein. Oh, I just froze. Okay, hopefully I don't freeze. It must be the internet. But the thing with the fiber and the protein, when you pair them, whether for a snack or for a meal, right, what ends up happening is that it keeps you full. So you are activating your body's own natural GLP-1 hormones and other hormones like it, which basically are the hormones in your body that signal to your brain, hey, we're full. And so fiber and protein together prevent you from overeating. Okay, they keep you satiated, they keep you full for longer. And then again, like that combination overall, when you're eating predominantly whole foods, whole plant foods, especially eating that multiple times a day, over many days, over many weeks, over many months, over many years, is the dietary pattern that will then go on to reduce your risk of 70% of the lifestyle related diseases that we are dealing with today, and that honestly I took care of in my patients at the end of life, right? So things like heart disease and diabetes and stroke, and for majority of the people, these are lifestyle related diseases, which means there's so much in our control to reduce our risk of these conditions. And that is so empowering. Like there's so much, right, that is in our control that we're often not led to believe. When you go to your doctor, but that's because most doctors are not trained in lifestyle medicine. It wasn't part of the medical school curriculum. It wasn't part of the residency curriculum, but I think things are slowly changing, and a lot of more doctors are getting interested in it, which is amazing. They're getting board certified in it. I'm board certified in it. So anyway, so I think the future is bright from that perspective. But here's the thing. So this is the kid version. This is the adult version. And then they even have a lunchbox. So I love this because you can put a little sandwich here, and then, they have their snacks there. So let's make one together, right? So we were talking about fiber and protein. So when you think about fiber, you're thinking about a complex carbohydrate. So think about, I'll make this one because my kids will eat it when they come home. So here's the thing, my kids like different things. And so this is why this is nice, because one likes one thing, the other likes the other thing. So when we're talking about fiber, right, we're talking about, let's say, fruits and vegetables, right? That's where you're going to get fiber, from whole plant foods. Now, my son will eat raw broccoli, but he won't eat red cabbage. Whereas my daughter loves broccoli and loves cabbage. So the way that I would prepare my son's snack spinner is I would put mostly broccoli, right? And then I might sneak in one strand of red cabbage. And I've done this from the beginning, because this is honestly what changes their palate over time. And the same is true for adults as well, right? So a lot of times parents will say, well, my kid doesn't like broccoli, and they throw it against the wall. But the reality is, after 2 times, you stopped offering, right? And so we have to just keep offering as parents. We have to keep offering, because the reality is, it takes about 10 to 12 times for a kid to actually eat a food for them to develop a taste for it. And also, kids are just like little adults, right? Like, they may not feel like eating something that you're giving them when you're deciding to give it to them. They may just not be in the mood, but don't give up on the food, right? Like, the idea is you continue to offer. And so this way, what ends up happening is he has his 3 foods that I know he likes, or his 3 pieces of broccoli, which I know he'll eat. And then he has the red cabbage. So the way we do it in my house, and it's different for everyone, but the way we do it in my house is we don't have to eat it all, but we have to try it, right? Especially if it's a food that we don't like, or it's a food that we're not currently into right now, or if it's a food that's prepared a different way than what we're normally used to. We don't have to eat it all, but we got to try it. And so in this case, I would tell my son, try the red cabbage before you eat the broccoli, because I know he likes broccoli, but not the red cabbage. So anyway, so that's the thing. Kids are different, even in the same family. Our tastes are all different. Everything is different. And so that's what makes this so cool. If you have more than one kid, is you can prepare them, or they can prepare them based on what they like, right? So I usually will add 2, like a fruit and a vegetable, and then snacks. So my son loves dates and cashews. Like, we actually call him Dayshoe, because he loves dates and cashews. So I have dates here, and dates are an excellent complex carbohydrate, great source of fiber, great source of antioxidants. And so it's something that he enjoys as a sweet treat almost every day. So I'll put some dates in there, and then I have, and really it's like whatever you have in your fridge, it's great. You can just put it in, right? So I have some cut strawberries, so I'll put those in there. And this way they're closer to eating the rainbow, right? And that's something that they can be proud of. It's so great. Like, if in our house we have like an eat the rainbow chart, and it just brings to mind for them, like, okay, did I eat something red today? Did I eat something yellow today? Did I eat something green today? And it's not just about color, but it's also about educating them. Like, okay, what is in strawberries that's really good for us? What is in broccoli that's really good for us? What is, and so we talk about the different types of anthocyanins and antioxidants and fiber and vitamins and minerals, and what they do for our body to keep us healthy. And so when you actually educate kids and they understand why they're doing something, just like adults, they're more likely to do it, versus if you just say, do this. And I get it. Sometimes it's easier to just say, do this. And trust me, there's a lot of that in our house. Like, there are a lot of times where I'll just be like, say, just sit down and eat your food. Like, it takes them an hour to eat dinner. And sometimes I'm just like, I need to wash dishes. I need to do all these things. But again, to cultivate habits, it takes time and effort and all of that. So it's okay if if you get frustrated along the way. That's totally normal, right? So anyways, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm just talking about snacking and kind of one of our go-to snack containers that we absolutely love. It's called the Gobi Snack Spinner. And so they had sent me some new snack spinners. So I thought I would show it to you guys and we can talk about snacks at the same time. So then over here, so we have fiber, right? Plenty of fiber here. Then over here, what I would put is some sort of protein dense food, right? So I have lots of options. So my kids love lupini beans, and lupini beans are a good source of fiber, but they also are a good source of protein. Alternatively, what I could do is some sort of nuts. So, I might just empty this packet in there. And again, when you're going with a plant-based protein, which is what's beautiful about plant-based proteins, is you're not just getting protein, you're also getting fiber. So this whole tray keeps my kids full for until dinner. Like, so if they eat this when they come home from school, they'll be good to go until dinner. They're not just going to be searching in the pantry for something, because my kids are starving when they come home from school. So that's the beauty of plant-based protein. And actually, I was just listening to a podcast today, and there was this like great study that came out that showed replacing just 3% of animal protein for plant protein. So just 3% of your total protein, swapping out animal protein for plant protein, showed to reduce mortality risk by 10 to 15%. That's amazing. So, I am plant-based, I am vegan. However, I don't tell everyone that they should be plant-based or vegan, because it may not be for everyone. However, what we should all strive to do is eat more plants, because the more plants we eat, right, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, whole grains, the better it is for our health. Right? The lower our risk of all of these lifestyle related diseases. We have a better quality of life, we feel better, and then ultimately, like, we optimize our health span, which is really what it's all about, right? And I, for years, took care of people who were in bed, and all they wanted was to be able to get up and go to the bathroom on their own. All they wanted was to be able to get up and bathe themselves. All they wanted was to be able to go out and enjoy the sun, or go for a walk, or be at home and not in the hospital with their families, right? So it's not about living more years on this planet. It's about the years that we're here. Let's live really well. Let's have a beautiful quality of life. Let's extend our lifespan so that we can do the things that light our heart on fire, so that we can do the things, that we believe are our purpose, and so that we can be with our friends and our families and the things that, bring us joy. Like, that's what life is about. And that's what focusing intentionally on things like your diet and what you're putting in your body can buy you. So this right here is an investment. It's not a guarantee, because in life there are no guarantees, but it's an investment, right? And it will pay you dividends down the road. So yeah, coming back to it. So protein. So I can put some almonds in here. I can put some chickpeas. My kids are not into almonds these days, so I won't put those in there. But other options, edamame, right? So this is 1 ounce of edamame, crunchy edamame, has 10 grams of protein. It's amazing. Like, it's absolutely amazing. 10 grams of protein and 4 grams of fiber. So see, these are Sea Point Farms dry roasted edamame, and all there is edamame and sea salt. So I absolutely love these. And then if you want to go for a healthy fat, because fats are also really, really great as snacks, you can go for some seeds. Obviously, nuts also have healthy fats, great source of omega-3, but you can go for like pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds. And then, of course, my kids love olives, so you can go for some Kalamata olives. So, this is kind of great at home, but also just if you are going for a picnic, or going to be out all day, or you're traveling, or you're going to the beach, like, this is an amazing tool especially if you have kids who are just, they're having a hard time eating whole foods, or maybe they've been eating mostly ultra processed foods and snack foods up until now, and now you want to get them to eat more whole foods. This is a great tool to help them transition, to cultivate that curiosity around different foods and independence and just fun, because like I said, it's like a widget, so it's really fun to play with. And then if you're an adult and you're always on the go, it's a great tool as well, the big one. So anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I have a meeting soon, so I'm gonna pop off. I hope this was helpful, and if you want to learn more about this or you want to check it out, it's called the Gobe Snack Spinner, GOBE Snack Spinner. And after I post this live on Instagram, if you comment Gobe, I can send you a link. I am a partner with them, so I can send you a link to get 15% off. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye.